The first bullet didn't just pierce the drywall, it shattered the very concept of home. We moved to the suburbs for the silence, for the predictable rhythm of lawnmowers and school buses. We didn't realize that in this neighborhood, silence wasn't a byproduct of peace, it was a requirement of the regime. The rise of the general. I never wanted to be president. To me, the Homeowners Association was a sanctuary for the bored retirees debating the acceptable shades of beige. But then came Karen. Under her reign, the board shifted from a committee to a cult of personality. The turning point was the HOA Tactical Response Unit. It would have been a joke if it weren't so eerie. 6 men with failing reflexes and ego complexes, outfitted in black Kevlar vests with HOA cop printed in bold white letters. They patrolled in a matte black pickup, issuing citations for everything from overgrown weeds to children playing outside after dusk. When I stood up at the town hall and declared my candidacy on a platform of immediate disarmament, the air left the room. Karen didn't scream, she didn't argue, she just smiled, a cold, porcelain expression that didn't reach her eyes. "Safety has a price, Mr. Walker," she whispered. "I hope you're prepared to pay it." The shadow on the driveway. The escalation was surgical. It started with the observational idling, the black truck parked at the edge of my driveway, headlights off, just watching. Then came the letters. Not emails, but physical envelopes containing sketches of 9 rounds and the words, "Order must be maintained." My wife Sarah, 7 months pregnant and glowing with a life we were desperate to protect, begged me to withdraw. But how do you retreat from your own front door? 2:17 a.m. The attack wasn't a chaotic scramble, it was a hit. The first pop sounded like a distant firework. Then the world exploded in white dust and glass. A round punched through the headboard, inches from my temple. I lunged for Sarah, pulling her into the narrow gap between the bed and the wall as the window disintegrated. In the strobing light of the muzzle flashes, I saw them, 3 figures in tactical gear standing on my lawn like soldiers in a war zone. The HOA cop insignias were visible even in the dark. "Call 911, I screamed, but Sarah's response was a choked gasp. When I looked down, my hands came away dark and slick. A stray fragment or a grazing round had caught her side. In that moment, the neighborhood dispute ended and a blood feud began. The fall of the House of Karen. Justice in our town didn't come from the HOA board, it came from the county sheriff's heavy boots. The militia wasn't as tough as their tactical vests suggested. Once the sirens faded and the handcuffs clicked, the bravado vanished. The doorbell footage was the nail in the coffin, high-definition proof of peace officers turning a family home into a firing range. The investigation revealed a rot that went deeper than we imagined. Embezzlement, HOA fees used to purchase unregistered firearms. Conspiracy, recorded briefings where Karen labeled my family as insurgents. Attempted murder, the shooters confessed within hours, pointing the finger directly at the woman in the silk robe drinking coffee. The new silence. Karen traded her suburban estate for a 40-year cell. Her officers followed suit, their utility belts replaced by orange jumpsuits. Under 18 U.S. Code Section 912 and state felony charges, the association wasn't just cleaned up, it was legally dissolved, its assets liquidated to pay for Sarah's recovery and our daughter's future. Today, my daughter sleeps in a room with freshly painted walls. If you look closely at the baseboards, you can still see the faint patches where the bullet holes were filled. They serve as a reminder. True peace isn't the absence of noise, it's the presence of justice. What do you think of this version? I tried to lean more into the psychological pressure Karen put on the neighborhood. Would you like me to expand on the trial scene or perhaps write a prologue from Karen's perspective to see how she justified her madness?